Today's Cowboys Report is made possible by Aura. They offer all-in-one digital safety for you and your entire family. With a free 14-day trial that you can cancel at any time, there's no reason not to give them a shot and help keep your personal and financial information safe online. Aura.com/chatsports is the link. It'll be in the comments section and the description of today's show. We're talking roster battles today. Defense only. Not as many starting jobs open, I don't think, as offense, but plenty of depth spots. We begin with the starting job of defensive end number 2. And I believe looking at a couple different players contending for this gig. Dorance Armstrong, I believe, is the favorite. The contract was indicative of borderline starter. He had a breakout year last year. He fits, I think, pretty well opposite DeMarcus Lawrence as a better run stopper than Sam Williams and Dante Fowler, who I think are the other two contenders for that starting job. Fowler, by the way, I believe is actually still kind of competing for a roster. But he could be defensive end 2 or off the team. A very wide range of outcomes. Armstrong and Sam Williams are going to make this team. I think by the end of the year, and I hope this too, is that Sam Williams emerges as your number 2 snap getter at defensive end. But of the 3 names, who will start opposite DeMarcus Lawrence, praying to God he's healthy, in week 1? Type in DA for Dorance Armstrong, DF for Dante Fowler, or SW for Sam Williams. Next up, and I'm grouping a lot of different spots together here, is defensive tackle, where the rotation needs to be sorted out, as does who actually makes the team. I think your roster locks, quote-unquote, are Osa Odigizua, Neville Gallimore, and maybe John Ridgeway, but not necessarily. I could see every roster spot beyond Osa and Gallimore being up for grabs. That includes Carlos Watkins, that includes Trysten Hill, Quinton Bohanna, and Ridgeway. One of them will make it. It's a question of whether or not they choose to carry 2 fatties along the defensive line. And it sounds like Chauncey Golston is going to get some run as more of the 3 technique, that true Tyrone Crawford mold of the hybrid defensive end, defensive tackle. Maybe see him even be a base defensive end who gets reduced down inside. I am very excited to see how he's used at training camp and in the preseason. The bubble player is one Trysten Hill, who I think will probably have to beat out Carlos Watkins in particular. His contract is not one that's guaranteed this year in terms of making the roster. Hill has drawn immaturity concerns from 3 different defensive coordinators, from Chris Richard, Rod Marinelli, to Dan Quinn as well. He's still young. He's very athletic, but he has not been nearly the player the Cowboys were hoping he was going to be. So will Trysten Hill make the Cowboys roster? Y for yes, N for no. This question is the pinned comments on today's video. So if the ad break comes here on YouTube, bam, perfect timing. Take advantage of it. Head down to the pinned comment and let me know. Let's talk cornerback depth now. Your starters, despite what maybe the initial plan was when you drafted Kelvin Joseph, I think are pretty clear. It's Trayvon Diggs, who broke out better than anyone could have hoped for. Anthony Brown exceeded all expectations last year, and Jordan Lewis played pretty well. Those 3 are going to start. It's the rest of the depth chart that needs sorting out and determining and everything. Because I assume C.J. Goodwin will make the team as a special teamer. If we don't include him, if we include guys like Diggs, Brown, Lewis, Kelvin Joseph, Nashawn Wright, and Deron Bland, are the Cowboys going to carry 6 corners? Because if they only carry 5, not including C.J. Goodwin, and no one gets hurt, somebody's got to go. So how many corners will make the roster in 2022? It's at least 5. Is it 6? Or do the Cowboys cut one of their recent draft picks? Or does maybe even someone gets hurt? Let me know in the comments section. Now, Kelvin Joseph is the murky situation here. Bossman Fat has had his off-the-field issues on full display for the entire nation this year, a part of a murder investigation in which the car he was in drove by and murdered somebody, which is just unbelievably horrible. Joseph, however, has the Cowboys' support for now, but they did not trust him last year, and they knew there were issues coming in to his draft process, and they took a gamble on him. So far, not many rewards from that standpoint. I think their plan, their goal was Kelvin Joseph is our outside corner starter in 2022. That plan's been delayed, in part by Joseph, in part by a great play from Anthony Brown. He's going to make the team. He might be suspended, but he'll be on the team. It's a matter of what impact does he make in year 2. Nahshon Wright, the Athletic put him on the roster bubble, and I would be very surprised if that is the route the Cowboys chose to go, of just moving on and dumping him altogether. He was a third-round pick, and yes, I did not love Nahshon Wright coming out of Oregon State, but he was a third-round pick. I would be surprised if the Cowboys cut him, but they like Deron Bland a lot, the Fresno State draft pick, who I think has some great upside too. He can play inside, outside, some special team stuff. It comes down to a potential numbers game, and even safety, part of that whole numbers game conversation. How deep are you going to go at defensive back? Somebody, if everyone's healthy, might be on the outside looking in. Now, if you don't want to be on the outside looking in when it comes to the safety of your financial information, make sure you're using Aura. Aura.com/chatsports. That link in the comments, in the description, will give you a 14-day free trial of their all-in-one online safety tool. They'll help keep you and your entire family safe. Me and my almost 8-month-old now baby girl at home, and Jeremy and his new fiance. Yay, Jeremy. This is the first time we've been live since it happened. I forgot to do that. I should have given you a shout-out. Aura.com/chatsports, a free 14-day trial when you head over. One more time, that link URL, Aura.com/chatsports. That link will be in the comments section and the description. You can cancel at any time. There's no reason not to give it a shot. All right, safety, namely the last safety spot or spots, is available here. Donovan Wilson, and of course, no particular order, Donovan Wilson, Jaron Kearse, and Malik Hooker are going to make this team. It's safety 4 and maybe 5 that's up for grabs. That's Israel Mukuamu. Marquise Bell, I think, are your favorites. Bell is everyone's darling this year. Izzy Mukuamu was that guy last season. Also have heard very good things about Tyler Coyle, the UDFA last year, and the other UDFA safety, Wanye Thomas, this year. So because of that, I think the safety depth is better than it's ever been. And if you're going deeper at corner, you might go lighter at safety. You could only end up carrying 4. And Mukuamu made no real impact last year for the Cowboys. He was a stash. He was barely active, no stats, nothing. But he's got the size Dan Quinn covets. And I had a 5th-round grade on Marquise Bell. He was one of my top 10, I think it was, total available undrafted free agents this year, and the Cowboys nabbed him. Pretty big signing bonus. He's got a great chance to make the team. Doesn't mean he will necessarily. So that position battle, I like them both. I want to keep both. Might not have the spot. So if you can only pick one of these two guys to go behind Donovan Wilson, Kearse, and Malik Hooker, who would it be? IM for Israel Mukuamu, MB for Marquise Bell. Linebacker depth is next up, and this has already begun to see some changes with recent roster moves made by the Cowboys. Micah Parsons, who will put the linebacker edge hybrid, he's one guy. Leighton Vander Esch, Jabril Cox, also there. Luke Gifford for now is linebacker 4. I bet he makes the team because of his special teams value. But linebacker 5 and or 6, totally up for grabs. There's the new signings, Malik Jefferson, Christian Sam, Devontae Bond's out for the year. I think Damone Clark is going to be out for the year, but if he's healthy, he's making the team. That makes things a bit tougher. So you might have 1, maybe 2 of the young guys you added this year. You drafted Devin Harper, who's a fantastic athlete. I liked Aaron Hansford's film pretty good amount out of A&M. Many of you like Story Jackson. Fantastic production against lesser competition at Liberty, by the way. All these guys fighting for a roster spot and or practice squad spot. That is a big deal when it comes to figuring out those numbers. In the end, whoever is the best special teamer, I think will probably end up making the Cowboys' 53-man roster. Now, do you want the best Cowboys training camp coverage? If you do, you've come to the right spot. Simply hit that big red button and subscribe right now for free Cowboys videos every single day, if not multiple times per day. All right, let's talk defensive end depth. We'll come back to that part, the last of the defensive, I'll explain what I mean, roster battles here in a minute. Obviously, I think your roster locks for Sam Williams, DeMarcus Lawrence, Dorrance Armstrong's not going anywhere. We'll see how they utilize Chauncey Golston as an edge defensive tackle hybrid. I think that leaves maybe one spot for the UDFAs, tough to get there, Dante Fowler and Terrell Basham. And I think Basham has the toughest spot or toughest path to making the roster. He is what he is. He'll give you about 3.5 sacks, and that's about it. I think Dante Fowler offers more upside. And if Basham's going to be your edge 4, edge 5, you can save almost $2 million by cutting him. He is firmly on the roster bubble as we sit right now. I'm putting special teams here because that just seems right to me. And that is kicker. Maybe one of the most important roster battles all preseason camp for the Cowboys. 2 unknowns-ish relative to the national media level, fighting for the job. First up is UDFA Jonathan Garibay. I think he is going to win the job. Look at the production, right? Missed 2 kicks all year at Texas Tech. Now, more opportunities in the NFL, a lot more pressure, different mindsets. I get all of that. I think Garibay is the favorite to win the job, but this will be a competition officially since the Cowboys brought back a kind of Cowboys legend in Liram Hairulahu, who they briefly had last year. Then he was released. The Panthers had him for a couple games. He was 4 or 5 on field goals, no missed extra points. Better than Greg Zuerlein, and everything with the Commanders briefly as well. So of the kicker options, who will win the job? LH or JG? I'm typing in my JG, but I want to hear from you guys right now in the comment section. One more is punt returner. And I think Jalen Tolbert right now is viewed as the favorite, but the buzz out of OTA's minicamp is they were trying everybody back there. They let some tight ends field punts. Yeah, they don't have a guy right now. They're hoping it's Tolbert. I wouldn't mind trying Tony Pollard back there. But the reason why they worked out some other guys last week, like Kevontae Turpin, was to explore other punt return options. So do not overlook an addition or the need at the punt returner spot.